The Grove Podcast.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to episode 151 of The Grove Podcast. Now, thank you for listening and I hope you are doing well because we did actually beat Chelsea last night. I know some are claiming that despite not winning, they actually won the game. You know, a bit like how they beat us 1 or the other back in November. And look, despite the margin of victory not quite being what it should have been, we are a step closer to the Wembley final. We have the advantage. You know, I guess we won the battle, but not quite the war just yet. And we have a home leg coming up beginning of February, like the second leg. So I think there's a lot to be happy about. Just unfortunately not enough to really rub it into their odious faces. So there we go. So look, today I'm guessing it will be a bit of a mixed pod, a lot of good stuff mixed with a little regret, which bit sounds like the story of my life, really. But anyway, joining me today, Kuziva, how are you? And how's your New Year going? Sticking to your New Year resolutions?
Hey, Stats. Yeah, I'm not bad, thanks. New Year resolutions. The only one that I care about is Arsenal just not conceding. It's on my own, but it's a collective one, given that we're on the Grove podcast. But I'm good, thanks.
Good. Yeah. I wish they had set that as a New Year resolution because they seem to be failing on it, and they need to try harder. But we'll get on to that. And before we get on to that, as always, you know, a little favour that I'd like to ask if you are enjoying this podcast, like a nice 5-star rating, a subscription on the podcast apps, on our YouTube channel, wherever you watch and listen at the Grove AFC. Really do appreciate it. Really helps get the listener numbers up and so on and spread the word. So if you can do that, that would be very appreciative, and it's a bit of a New Year's resolution for you to us. So there we go. Anyway, enough of that. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. We did actually win the game, as I said, and yeah. So Kuziva, from that game, what were your highlights and lowlights?
Highlights was probably the control we had in the second half, just before the subs. So I think around between the 50th minute and the 75th minute, we were moving really well. If you look at the game stats, and if you look at the momentum, you can just see that we're absolutely owning them. Zubi was just pulling the strings as he usually does. But yeah, that was just the highlight because it showed us what we can do and how we could actually win this whole thing. So that's my highlight. Low light, the fact that we are still talking about we are still in the tie, and I know we won and we absolutely annihilated them on XG, but it's 2-3, and I don't think we'll lose at home. But the low light is we still have to say, like, there's a second leg and we need to figure that out.
Yeah, no, indeed. I mean, I'll start with my highlight. It was a bit quick, a quick one, but it will feed into the low light a bit. So I was fortunate enough to be able to be at the game. I managed to have sufficient points to get a ticket. So yeah, it was good to be at the game. I mean, the away support was immense in fine form. Some really fun songs and taking the Mickey out of Chelsea and taking Mickey out of Tottenham and just generally having really good time, really good atmosphere. I guess scoring 3 goals at Stamford Bridge helps, and look, and as you know, I'm not a big fan of that clown car of a club, and I did feel a bit grubby going to that stadium and being surrounded by all those Chelsea fans, so the fact that we did win despite the 2 goals conceded, it sort of did make up for that. But so I think that was my highlight, personal highlight. We'll get onto the highlights in the game itself. In terms of the low light, yeah, just having those extra goals, that buffer, that we just couldn't give them that proper beating which they were due. I mean, we had the Marino volley and save and the Big G header that should have been 4-1. Instead, there's a 2-goal swing with the Garnacho goal. And then even we could have had the penalty at the end. So, yeah, as you said, they're still in the tie. We should have put it to bed. We should have killed them off. We could have made the second leg a lot easier, on the team rotation. And the fact that we couldn't have fun with the result, yeah, it's good, but it's not great. And I was thinking, walking back, it would have been so nice just to be there in amongst all the Chelsea supporters, going back to this, listening to them all being whinging, moaning, being disappointed, and me trying to be smiling ear to ear under my scarf. Really wanted to see them being miserable, but so I couldn't really embrace it. So not meant to be. However, we've lost our last 4 semi-finals: PSG, Newcastle, Liverpool, Villarreal. I think over the last 5-6 years. So at least that breaks that run. And we did score more goals tonight, 3, than we have done in in the last 8 semi-final matches we played in too. So again, some silver linings. And but I think it touches on this point that you're making, I'm making, is and the resolution that we want Arsenal to stick to is we're continuing to let in silly goals. We're continuing to let in late goals. I think in the last 7 games we've kept 1 clean sheet, and that was the Liverpool game at home. So what's happened to our miserly defense? It just means games are more uncomfortable than they need to be, especially when winning comfortable. I mean, yeah, well, can you put it down to anything? Is there anything that you see? Because we've had Galiba, Gabriel and Saliba at the back, and we've got Rice and Zubimendi in front. So can you pinpoint it? Can you put it down to anything?
No, I can't. I think the system still works because when you look at the underlying data, we still not letting these guys have clear-cut chances, but it's just momentary lapse of concentration, maybe not being quick enough on the defensive transition. It's just really weird anomalies that you really can't say, oh no, we're in a problem state right now. The system still works. So I'm not too worried, but it is very frustrating because, just 2-3 months ago, we're like, why aren't you conceding? I'm so tired of not conceding. And now look at us.
We'd worry about the ball clipping Eddie Nketiah's forehead going wide. Oh my God, we let a chance on target, lot shot on target type stuff. So Chelsea we let in 2, Portsmouth we let in 1, Bournemouth we let in 2, Villa we let in 1, Brighton 1, Palace 1, Wolves 1, and it's just I don't know. We just seem to be, I don't know, maybe just doing dumb stuff. Maybe we get a bit casual, especially when we're like 2 goals up, like against Bournemouth we're 3-1 up, Chelsea 3-1 up, Villa 4-0 up, Brighton 2-0 up. And they all seem to be late as well. So it's an odd one. Hopefully it's just a run of games and we can make up for it. But also the knock-on effect is we can't take players off earlier. We're stressed as hell. So again, if you're in the cold light of day and you look at it, because we're winning that easy, but we're opening ourselves up to variance being footballed. So please stop. Please stop. And you're right. I think it's a good point. We're not giving up massive chances, as you said. Like, if you look at yesterday, the statistics, they had 0.65 xg, and they had 10 shots, 5 on target, and you look at Garnacho's goals. I guess in all goals you can find fault and stuff, and we'll touch on them, but it's not like they're glaring easy open chances or massively well created. It's just the drop of the ball, the bounce of the ball, and the ball's going in. And I think we've seen that a lot. And look, we've been lucky. I'm not denying that Arsenal don't get luck at the time with the own goals and stuff like that, but it just stop it. That's all I'd ask. Okay, so the lineup. So we went strong. We went pretty strong. Kepa, our cup keeper. It's easy for me to say. Stayed in goal, and then pretty much I think we went as strong as we could do, given the team we played against, Portsmouth, and rotation. So White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, and Trossard, Saka, Gyokeres. And interestingly, Timber on the left as opposed to MLS, and I think Gyoke up front because Jesus started the game against Portsmouth. So what did you feel about that team? Did you want us to go in strong for this one? You wanted us to take it, in inverted commas, seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's obviously Mikel wants to win this trophy. That's why we played our fully fit side minus the goalkeeper. So I was happy with the lineup. I wanted this lineup. What's also great is if we didn't start Saka and we had Madueke, he probably would have done quite well himself because he's been quite impactful. But no surprises there. I was scared that Timber was going to start on the right and then MLS versus either Neto or Estevão. But I'm so grateful that our best defender was, taking care of what needed to be taken care of on the left-hand side. But no surprises. Exactly what I expected.
Yeah, no. Well, I was surprised MLS didn't start. I must admit, I was expecting White or Timber to right, and I was expecting MLS on the left. So I think that was maybe a little bit of a surprise. And look, given the way Estevão played, I think it was a good battle between the two. I think fairly even. I think Estevão maybe got the better of Timber a couple of times, but then Timber gets better. So I think it was fairly even. I think he was their main threat yesterday. I think he had three shots on goal or 3 shots. He seemed to be their most outlet, attacking down the left hand side. And I watched the highlights again today, and what you don't see because of the depth of vision was that actually how much space he was having when he was attacking down the left. You didn't realize, and we were closed down well, but it looked really threatening, and he's quite fast. He was their primary threat. However, he fades in games, and his he's quite young. He fades, and he's not quite got the output, but he was definitely a threat. And I remember last year, was it last year? Yeah. Talking to Guido, so a member of the Grove, Brazilian, and it was before the Atalanta game in Bergamo, and he was telling me, Chelsea have signed this young Brazilian Estevão, and he was really gutted that they had got him because you could see the potential what was there, and he was saying, yeah, this guy is going to be a star. He's going to be a good player, and he was like really gutted that we didn't get him. Even though having our Edu connection and so on. So look, credit where credit's due. Yeah, he did have a good game, but we sort of also fairly well marshaled him, and in the end he didn't do a great deal. So yeah, that was a good matchup. But we went strong, and you can see he wants to win this. We play Forest on Saturday evening. We can maybe rotate for that, and this is it. This is it. And I guess now that we're in the semi-final, you've got to go for it, because all you're going to lose or gain is that it's one extra game. It's a game at Wembley, so you're here. You might as well play for it.
Yeah.
We haven't won a trophy for 6 years. This could give us some confidence. So I was quite happy that now that we're here, we've got to commit to this, sort of thing. And then there was talk of Chelsea fielding a weaker team. They were missing James, missing Palmer, missing Caicedo, but I'm not having it. They've spent billions on that squad, and they've got how many players? And look, if they can't handle a few absences for one game, that's their problem. We know full well what it's like. We went to Stamford Bridge in the league with Hincapié and Mosquera at centre back, no Odegaard and Marina up front. So if they can't build a proper squad, that's on them. I'm not having that.
No, I agree. And just on the Caicedo points, it's so funny when we played them. Chelsea fans are just screaming about, he's so edgy. This guy is, he's rough, but he gets the job done. And then yesterday they were complaining, this guy needs to stop getting yellow cards because he missed yesterday because of suspension, right?
Yeah.
So it's, guys, figure out what you want. So that's the one. And then James, you can't trust on James. I don't know why people still feel like this guy is trustworthy to just stay fit. But no excuses. Literally every team has injuries. Like, that's just life. Like, we walked into the game without our key defenders, as you said. So you do what you can with what you have on the day, and if you spend $2 billion. Yeah,
and what is it? Palmer has this somehow. He's like, he always gets a sick note every time Arsenal turn up on the turn up on the fixture list. It's like at school. There's a particular lesson you didn't want to go to, and he's like, "Oh, Mum, can you do me a sick note, please? I don't want to go to that stuff."
It's funny you say that. Apparently, the medical team runs Chelsea's starting lineup, so I do wonder if they skip that Palmer will get cooked by Zubi and Rice in the midfield. But get another signal.
But he does look like, if you look at him, and he's not the brightest spark, is he? He looks like he is there asking for a sick note. So, Mourinho, the medical staff are giving me a sick note. I can't play. Anyway, there you go. Right. So, as I said, in terms of the stats, Chelsea had majority of possession, 58% to 42%, but they're at home, and you expect that. But as I said, 0.65 XG to our 2.68. They had 10 total shots to our 17. 5 on target to our 6. They had one big chance. We had 3. They didn't miss any of their big chances. We missed 1. So overall, and it was sort of a robust-ish game. Was it 12 fouls to theirs to our 14? I didn't. The yellow card count was about 1, 2, 3 to them, 4, and then 4 all on yellow cards. I think some dirty, some tactical. There was actually one yellow card that really helped us, and I'll get onto that. But so in terms of, other than you said about the control and then yeah, and also not coming away with a bigger lead. Any other takeaways from the game? Anything about the game, our performance? How we approached it. Just anything else? Anything else that sort of stood out for you?
So I think probably because they didn't have Caicedo and James, right, we properly controlled the midfield. Zubimendi and Rice were just all over the place, which is why they had to force things wide. And I mean, you saw it in the highlights. The fact that every time Estevão got the ball, he was quite open. It looked like we were set up to be compact to control the midfield as much as possible. What happens outside there on the flanks? Yeah, it's not as devastating as what happens in the center of the park. So that's I guess the one big thing. And then yeah, I mean, we're still creating, we're not scoring 5, 6 goals, but we are still creating chances. And I think that's a big part that is keeping me and my hope alive for everything that's happening this season. We just have to convert, but I'm grateful that we still exactly creating.
Yeah, for me. It was a fairly even first half. As I said, it was fairly well matched. I think at patches we were dominating, they were dominating, and so but I think still we deserved to go in 1-0. I think we created the better chances, but still fairly even. You could, especially in the first half. Again, their main threat came because Timber was playing on the left, and he was like the really advanced inverted fullback and quite far up at times, which meant there was a lot of room behind Trossard behind him that Gabriel had to cover. Yeah, so that again, as I said that before, that's what Estevão was sort of being a bit of a threat. Pedro would sometimes come over there to be a bit of a threat, but we managed it. And then second half, we were just so much better. Mm-hmm. We really took hold of the game. We created a lot of chances. You say we should have killed them off. We did a lot of things right, and I think and we got Saka into it more. First half, Saka hardly touched the ball. I was noticing that we were putting a lot down our left-hand side. It seemed the left-hand side or the middle. We weren't able to get Saka involved a great deal, but second half we were getting him involved a lot more, and that helped us. But then it's just sloppiness and poor keeping cost us really the bigger win. So yeah, I mean, and also the other thing that helped us as well, Chelsea are trying to, it's funny. I don't know the Maresca formation, but you can definitely see Rossinho's trying to do something. It's basically looking like they're trying to mimic Arsenal in terms of the way they're sort of trying to play with their fullbacks, also trying to way they're playing out of the back. And they were a bit of a shambles playing it out back, and we just couldn't exploit it, which was again a shame. But anyway, so we did take the lead early. White with I think he was surprised as anyone else with the goal. A great delivery, but I don't know where Sanchez is going. He was miles away, and to be honest, neither keeper covered themselves in glory. And then White's there, and good job it didn't touch Gyokeres on the way in. Otherwise, it would have been given for offside. So 1-0. But have you seen on the socials the Rice stuff?
No, I haven't.
First goal. So he was getting dogs abuse, a bit like when he got dogs abuse
at Tottenham.
At Tottenham, he was getting. I don't get this. A Chelsea fan is filming Declan Rice taking a corner and giving him dogs abuse, and just before he takes the corner, he sort of like has a smile on his face, and then because he knows what's coming, and this is the first corner of the game, he knows what's coming. He puts it in, and we score, and he's running away, laughing and putting his arms out. But you're a Chelsea fan. One, you carry on recording it. Two, you're posting it. What are you doing? Well, you just delete. I'm not. Why would you want to? Now it's all over the socials. Like, you are thick. You are really that thick, aren't you? That you're posting against yourself. It's like, yeah. So I know, but it was very funny to see, and that was our first corner. So set piece LA goes on. And it's like every time there was a corner, they were like bricking it. So
I need to find that video. I need to also laugh like you guys have been laughing. But Rice, I think, is the second highest point scorer for midfielders in FPL, because of that, because of his defensive work, but also because of corners. So yeah, like idiots. But I guess people do anything for social media and
It's
attention.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So and look, I think so. Ben White, we couldn't see who scored. So, but yeah, Ben White gets it, and I think that his last 3 or 4 goals have all been against Chelsea because he had the 2 in the 5-0 win, one last night, and I don't know if he scored another one in between them. But yeah, he likes a goal against Chelsea. So good old Benny Blanco, and he had a good game coming in at right back. I think he was solid, yeah, integral to our second goal. But then after that, yeah, we had a couple of chances. Gyokeres had a nice turn and shot, marked by 4 players, but it was deflected. Why? What did you make of Gyokeres' performance? Because there seems to be a lot of, again, the bench, the bar is low. Okay, the bar is low, but it felt like and he won man of the match, which I'm a bit surprised about, maybe because he got the assist and the goal. What did you make of his performance yesterday? I'm not saying it wasn't good, but I'm not too sure it was man of the match worthy. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't think it was man of the match worthy, but I think they just looked at the stats and they said, "Yeah, let's give it to this guy." It was what we've seen of him the last few games, but just a bit more execution,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that he brings people in a bit quicker. But yeah, he's. I know people won't like this. He's finding his feet in a team that's been working really well together for a very long time, and yeah, let's give him a bit of time, and maybe we don't have to talk about that now. But I think that he's doing what he needs to do because he draws defenders away from people like Saka. Saka last season was always even in Kai Havertz was playing double double man marked. Now we don't see that as much. And if we do see that, it then opens up an opportunity for him. And the problem, I guess, that people have is that his positioning and anticipation isn't always as great.
Mm.
And maybe that's why people aren't passing to him. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll get to someone not passing to him in a minute. But before then, we have Zubi had a nice shot after a free kick, but he just couldn't get his head over the ball and keep it down. Yeah, Chelsea had a couple of chances. I think
good
Pedro
save.
and then there was Estevão had the shot and a good save. Yeah. And again, it's really interesting because I had quite a nice. I was sort of side on to the goal a bit, and I could see a lot of the spaces and so on. So when you see the chance on TV, it doesn't. Oh, it looks like an average chance, but it looked a lot more of a threat when actually there. But a good save by Kepa at the near post to Estevão, and then I think this was an important moment. Cucurella got booked for a foul on Saka. Saka was trying to get away with him, and normally Cucurella is a good matchup for Saka, and it's a good battle. I think Cucurella normally gets the better of him, but as soon as he's booked,
It's a different story.
he couldn't touch him after that game, and that's he's relying on playing on the edge. And if he doesn't get booked early, then he does normally have Saka's number. If you book it in that 44th minute, okay, Saka wasn't getting much of the ball, so I don't think there was much chance to draw the foul. But this was definitely a yellow, and it was important for the rest of the game. And talking of it, so in the 50th minute, after half time, we came out strong, and Gyokeres gets his goal. So Saka was too strong for Cucurella, and Cucurella, if he hadn't been yellow carded, he would have brought him down.
Yeah.
But the best thing about that goal was the very rare sighting of a quick throw in, and the even rarer sighting of a Ben White quick throw.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on here? And we could all see it in the stadium because he was sort of practically, it was well off the pitch, and he picked up one of the balls and he threw it from a good 3-4 yards away from the touchline at an angle that actually, because of where he was throwing it, it enabled him to bypass Cucurella, as if he was on the actual touch on the sideline, he wouldn't have been able to, and it would. So it was very, very, very clever. Very clear, and the Chelsea idiots complained about it. The players were complaining about it, but really quick thinking, really well. I don't know if our new set piece coach had anything to do with that, or we're looking at something, but he did really well there. And then there was that moment, Saka's there, Gyokeres is free in the box, Saka could have passed it, And I don't. Have you seen the reaction from Gyokeres? From
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen it like 20 times.
right, 20 times, and you see the frustration. Then Saka cuts back onto his left foot as he does. Ben White overlaps, crosses in. Sanchez again messes up through two hands. He should be stopping that. And then Fox in the box. Gyokeres there to slam it home. But so yeah, look, 2-0. We're all happy. We're all happy for Gyokeres. Look, we can't complain. We scored. But that's despite. How do you? There's a lot of things. Oh, Saka doesn't pass to Gyokeres. Do you feel Saka? I mean, I was saying Saka should have passed first time to go. What was your thought about that whole goal? That whole thing about even though we did score, it was a bit.
Yeah. So I think we need to remember that Saka is used to scoring a lot of goals. Saka is not used to a striker like Gyokeres. Saka is moving into, he's trying to get his form ready for a World Cup where England are hoping to win the World Cup, right? So there's a little bit of selfishness that he he needs to just get his form up, score his goals. But I don't know. He's still such an invaluable player to the system. He's still doing so much that, goals don't matter. In the same vein.
But do you see it's an issue? It's a problem that he didn't pass it, that he was looking.
Yeah.
It was so clear and obvious.
I think because this is not the first time, and last time I was on this pod, I spoke about this, right? I think if it was a real issue, Arteta would have said something and he wouldn't be doing it anymore. I feel like that's the situation. But he could have passed it. Could have been an easier goal. But maybe to trust it. Maybe people don't trust Gyokeres. So it could be that. Frustrating, but we scored the goal, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a left foot, right foot thing because he can that ball across the box he can easily do with his right foot. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's just, and it was just a Gyokeres. He you could see he was just so frustrated. So a lot of the talk is about Gyokeres not doing his job, but he's there, and if he doesn't, if you don't feed the goat, as they say, he's not going to score. So it's So again, a bit of both. I don't think we're going to go too deep on it. No. I don't know what the, if it becomes a trend and it happens all the time, then maybe. But you can then sometimes think, okay, well look, there's a clear opportunity, a clear example of where he's in the right position, he's unmarked, could square it across to him. Maybe he doesn't score, maybe he doesn't. But you don't do the analysis based on you scoring or not. Because the only reason he did score is because Sanchez messed up. So it's just an interesting sort of side point to see where that goes. But anyway, 2-0 up, great. We're all singing Wembley, and all that, and being all jolly, and everyone's looking miserable. But we allow Chelsea to get in, and both Chelsea's goals scrappy, and this was. It felt to me like the game they were always getting the bounce was falling their way. And look, Zubi slips over, but then he makes a tackle on the floor, but then it bounces up and breaks for the Chelsea player. Then Saliba tackles him, and it breaks to the Chelsea player. And then it gets crossed in. I think it's maybe Neto cross it into Garnacho's free at the back post. And it just goes through sort of Kepa's legs. And look, that happens. You shoot, you get it on target. He tried to make himself big, but it happens that Marina has the shot. If he hits it a bit lower or a bit wider, that goes in. It's just the way. But it just felt a lot of those things were falling into it. It was just a very, I was going to say very un-Arsenal goal, but at the moment it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it's so scrappy. It kind of reminded me, not obviously the goal itself, but just the phase before that. It reminded me of the Villa goal in the last second, and how we're just sixes and sevens that whole phase until they got an opportunity to score. And actually, the reason he got that opportunity is because of what happened just before. I mean, a few minutes before that, right? So frustrating, very, very low probability chance, which shows that it was a bit of a lucky goal. But yeah, we need to clean that shit out, man.
I like the comparison to the Villa goal. When people are just diving on the floor, just boot it. It's like, and just breaking the wrong way. And look, we get the luck of the bounce sometimes and all the rest of it. So I'm not saying it's just, as I said, it's just the way it fell. And we give them a lifeline when they were nowhere near getting a lifeline. And look, they're playing at home. they're obviously going to try. It's only it's a two-legged tie, so even just being one goal behind, you're still going to go for it. It's not like arrested. So it's just I expected a bit of pressure, but it's just the way it came about. It's like, oh, fine, tear us apart, do something creative, not just like break of the ball, cross, break of the ball, through the legs, goal sort of thing. Okay, and we get criticised for set piece FC, but there we go. Then we make a couple of subs, and I think they were the right subs at the time. Trossard and Odegaard off, Martinelli and Marino on. I was thinking maybe Gyokeres comes off and Marino goes up front, and Martinelli for Trossard. I think Trossard had a quiet game, and maybe Martinelli after. There's going to be space in behind as Chelsea attack, but Marino came on, and I think he did brilliantly when he came on. He was absolutely excellent. And then look, 71 minutes. Zubi, who was I think my man of the match, either him or Saliba, but he let in 2 goals. Hard to give a defender. Man of the match, Zubi, and this was a lovely goal. Very creative, and again Saka involved again down the left, fed Gyok. Yeah, well done. And he had a nice touch, rolled it to Zubi, who shimmied inside one defender, then another, sat one down. Everyone's necks are hurting because they're all twisting left, right, and centre, and then places it into left hand goal. So a lovely goal.
Yeah, I don't think he realized he was going to be scoring this many goals when he left.
I think that's four this season. And a couple of crackers as well. I think it the one against Forest and the one tonight. Then the header against Forest. I can't remember the other goal.
But yeah, besides that, very composed. Very composed. It's what you expect from a Spanish player.
Aston Villa, I think. That was
yes.
Yeah, the beautiful pass by Odegaard.
Yeah.
He scores lovely goals. There we go. He's a lovely goal scorer.
Yeah, but at that point, 3-1 up. I'm sure you guys were singing Wembley again.
Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, after that's when we had the Marino chance, right?
Yeah. So 71, and no, 76. So the ball breaks. So again, a lucky break, because I think someone challenges it, loops up to Marino, and he hit it as well as he could. Maybe he hit it too well. This one is one. If you hit it too well.
Yeah.
he hit it really well, and Sanchez's big toe, his size 12 shoes deflects it behind for a corner, and he did everything he could. But it's one of those ones. If you sort of scuff it a little bit, it goes under the keeper. He's timing it for a well placed hit, and if he mistimes it, it's one of those ones. It's we all get head in hands. That was the chance. Credit to the keeper. I mean, he messed up for 2 of the goals, but there we go. And then even then, we should have gone 4-1 up.
Yeah,
because another great corner. It was from the right side, and then Gabriel, a bit like the Liverpool game, but this was even easier. 99 times out of 100, he's there. He heads it.
Yeah,
he just heads it. I think if you head it down, I think you've got there a bit early. I think it's something like that, or something like that. So he just heads it down. It bounces over. And Garnacho shoots the ball into the ground, and it bounces in. This one, it heads that, and if you just another 3, 4, 5 degrees of angle on it, and it bounces into the goal, or just head it straight.
Yeah.
And it's like, we go 4-1. Are we gonna regret this?
Sorry, Tabs. Just to go back to the Marino chance.
Go for it. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed in the build-up. Gyokeres did a really good job in becoming a target man in the build-up to that, and then as he passed it through to Saka and then it went back to him. I think he had about 4 defenders on him, literally like a hive, which is why Marino had so much space. So as frustrating as he is in some cases, as frustrating as all passing story is when he's in an okay chance or okay position, seeing him being hived like that by so many defenders is another reason why he's such an important player. I feel like if Saka had the Marino shot, I'm not saying Marino's shot was not good.
No, he's actually one of our better strikers of the ball.
He is. Yeah. But I think an inside forward or a Trossard probably would have scored in that position. So just a shout out to Gyokeres in that position for doing a compliment job.
Oh, he definitely had a good game. I'm not saying that he didn't have a good game, and he worked so hard. So you see, it's there. Maybe after the goal, confidence builds and stuff. But he
Mm.
definitely works hard. Um, but there's also a little bit of a coincidence happening. Is that thereafter? So in the 82nd minute, we make a couple of subs. So Jesus and Havertz come on for Rice and Gyokeres. So Zubi stays where he is, and you got Havertz and Marino in midfield, and Jesus goes up front. But what did you make of that stuff? Because my instinctive feeling was I didn't like it because it just felt. No, Havertz when he came on was good. He made a difference. I would say make a difference. He was good. There was no issue. But just putting him into midfield
Mm.
with Marino, and then you got sort of. We call him diminutive, okay, 6 foot, but he just looks diminutive, okay. Zubimendi, me and Jamie have this thing all the time. He's 6'1", so like he just doesn't look. And all the rest of it. So having Zubimendi, so you got there's no, shall we say, pace or work. There's work rate, but there's no pace in that midfield, and it just felt a bit imbalanced. And then
Mm.
Jesus, I would Havertz up front. I would have liked, and I would have maybe if you can, or if you're going to bring Havertz and Jesus on, then you take Zubimendi off, and then you put Rice at the base of the midfield,
Yeah.
just a bit more of a presence. So my instinctive feeling was I didn't like it,
No.
and not to say
Yeah.
that they're the reason we let another goal in, but I don't know. What did you feel?
Yeah, it was odd, but I think at 3-1 up, maybe Arteta was trying to like tinker around and see what is possible in the future.
Yeah,
He thought the game was probably done, and it did cause an imbalance.
mm,
Losing those two key players or one of them in the midfield does
mm.
cause issues. So I felt the same. Um, it is what it is, and look, at least he won. But
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Arteta's just trying to figure out, okay, I don't want to drop Gyokeres, or I want to give him as many chances as possible. Is there a world where we can see Kai Havertz and Gyokeres
Yeah.
in the same team?
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, yeah, Havertz can play in that role. So absolutely. So yeah, just an instinctive feeling, and it sort of bore out that way. Because also there seems to be a coincidence. So every time Gyokeres comes off, we concede,
Yeah.
and I think it's correlation rather than causation. But Villa, he came off, we concede. That second goal, okay, there was a whole half for that to happen, but I think even Bournemouth, he comes off, we concede. Chelsea, he comes off, he concede. So again, I don't know if it's I think maybe correlation rather than causation, but still, it's a coincidence that might need to be looked at. And 1 minute later, 83rd, 84th minute, Garnacho again. This was from a corner. I don't know what Kepa was doing. He had obviously been watching Sanchez at the other end, saying, "Oh, obviously that's that tactic of being coming out, trying to get the ball and being nowhere near it is one I'd like to repeat." And if he stays in his goal, that's not a goal, but it goes over him, nowhere near it. Garnacho hits the ball, speculative shot. I guess it bounces and it alludes to two defenders, trying to get it, and just one of those unfortunate things. Again, could have easily been avoided.
How
Did you
did you
feel?
How
Go on.
did you feel about the space that he had? I don't
Uh,
think I've noticed too much. I've criticized what happens outside of that mess around the goalkeeper with
yeah,
our team. Is
I,
do players usually have that amount of space?
that's right. Everyone got drawn into the ball, and actually, uh, Gabriel got a header to it. Yeah,
Mm.
it is odd whether who's marking him, who's coming out to him. I think because most probably we do zonal marking, so therefore, and someone was coming out to him, but he maybe stepped a bit back when he saw the
Yeah.
flight of it. Everyone gets drawn. Yeah. I'm sure it can be something to be looked at. It did seem odd, but he hits it first time, so it's not like anyone has time to get out to him
Mhm.
to close him down fully. Now we haven't conceded 3 goals in a game for over 2 years now, if not longer. I was fearful that record was going to break yesterday. It seemed like they had a bit of
Yeah.
momentum. The crowd got behind them. There was still like you knew there was going to be 5-6 minutes of added time, so there was a good 10, 12 minutes left. Did you feel that was that it could that was maybe there was a chance that Chelsea somehow get back to this 3-3?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it is still a derby at the end of the day. So there was that feeling, but then there was a moment where I saw how we tried to defend when the ball landed around our box, and it wasn't just a hoof; it was a controlled. Let's try transition this forward, and I was like, okay, cool. These guys aren't looking at just sitting back; they're looking at still scoring. So as soon as I think it was Martinelli actually. As soon as I saw that little phase, I was at peace and I was okay. But I'm sure in the stadium it's different because you are there with their fans and you can feel them and their hope. So I'm glad that we
Yeah.
passed their hope.
Yeah. No, the expectation stuff, and look, Kepa did have to make a save from Estevão in the 86th minute, but then I don't think a lot happened. You know, we were nullifying, they were nullifying, and actually, I think the Chelsea fans were getting frustrated at their team because they weren't pushing even harder. And then in the 94th minute, we did get a penalty. Apart from the fact then Jesus was offside. Now he's looking. It's a real. I hate lazy
Yes.
football. Like not lazy footballers because he wasn't being a lazy footballer, but just lazy footballness, for want of a better word. You're looking down the line.
Yeah.
Your job is just to stay on side. It's easy. What you know, you come on. You're fresh. You don't need that extra 10 centimeters, and we would have got a penalty. I'm not saying we would have scored or anything like that. We would have got a penalty. Instead, Jesus was offside, and that's hugely frustrating because that would 94th minute again 4-2. We come away laughing. We're on our way to Wembley, you know, and but we're not. So
What do you think? Who passed ball? Was it Martinelli? Right? Do you not feel like Martinelli had an opportunity to pass just like a split second sooner? Because I do understand. I completely your frustration around looking at the line is completely valid. But when there was a chance that Estevão got on the other side, there I feel like there's more of a frustration because you have space and you see the line. Um, Whereas this side, not a lot of space, and the person that passed to you just you could have passed it a little bit sooner.
yeah,
I feel.
yeah, no, maybe there is that. So he's anticipating a pass early, he goes, but you're looking down the line. You're not marked. You can still wait until the ball's gone. You know you should have enough in it. But yeah. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to know what Martinelli's waiting for. And I don't know how far offside. I'm sure it was it. I haven't seen any replays of it. Was he quite far? Or was it fairly narrow in
Ooh,
terms of Jesus?
Jesus, yeah, it is quite narrow. It is, yeah. If it was a little bit narrower, they would have drawn lines.
Oh,
So
okay, but
yeah,
it was still obvious. But
yeah.
anyway, it didn't happen. Um, There was a bit of nonsense at the end, and great to see Zubi just laughing,
I love it.
laughing in Enzo and Pedro Neto's face. So yeah. Look, you take it before the game. You say you win away. It's always the way. We're taking a lot of results at the moment, but in game you're thinking it should be so much different. But yeah, you would have taken a 1 goal lead into the home leg easy. Going to Chelsea, you'd take that all day. It's just that a little bit of regret. And we've not lost now to Chelsea in the last 9 games. And I think like Arteta, he's played them 8 times, hasn't lost. So that's a great little record. I think won 4, drew 4 in all competitions. So that's a nice thing.
Tabs has a table, yeah, that looks at the other teams. So the other teams where we've had unbeaten streaks are Norwich, Portsmouth, Huddersfield, West Brom, Hull City, Middlesbrough. Chelsea is a small team, but like
Yeah.
bigger than those clubs. So I really do love this record. 2018 is the last time we lost to these clowns. Yeah, it's our fourth home in London. Like we are
Yeah.
literally like property moguls, monopoly lives out here with properties everywhere. I love it.
Stamford Bridge is ours. We're going to burn it down. Right. There we go. And look, overall, you know, we've played this season 31 games. We've won 25, drawn 4, lost 2. We scored 74 goals, conceded 24. Things are okay.
Yeah.
Things are okay. It feels very nervy at the time. It feels very tense. And you're going to come on in match week at 24, 38, 37 with,
Yeah.
with your statistical probabilities about us winning the league. But yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for. We're in a very good spot, looking at that across all competitions. So like, one one foot in the door at the Wembley home changing room, shall we say? Top of the league, top of the Champions League, FA Cup, fourth round against Wigan away. So again, you'd expect us to get to fifth. So we're in a good space as long as we keep our players fit and get players back. There's a lot to. I just wish it would be a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah,
In the aggregate, in the moment, it's enjoyable. Like the scoring those 3 goals at Chelsea and the amount of telling certain players and supporters where to go was very enjoyable. But but also they don't have
make it easier. Yeah.
make it hard for you to enjoy them. But there we go. And look, Ben White had a little comment to make after the game. Like, we didn't play very well in the second half and let them give us more pressure. And that's how we probably conceded the goals. It's not up to our standards really, so it's disappointing in the second half. But we won, so I think we all share that sentiment. And any other players stand out before we get to the three-word reviews?
Saliba. Saliba was a star, I think, most of the game. Obviously, he conceded 2 goals, but it feels like from the last 2 games or 3 games now, he's being told to try drive more from deep, maybe to liberate Odegaard a bit more. And there was one phase where he dropped his shoulder, went through 2 defenders. That was just it was a dream, and it's also what we know he can do and what we expect from someone like Saliba. So he was up there for me. Rice, just it's Rice. He does what he needs to do, and he does it well. And as you mentioned earlier, Saka coming into the second half, it helped that Cucurella had a yellow card, and that honestly should just be our tactic. If when we play Chelsea 2 more times this season, to make sure you get Cucurella a yellow card as quickly as possible, so Saka can just live and dream.
Yeah, do his thing. Yeah,
How about you?
yeah. No, Saliba was great. There was one bit where you see him and he's like shimmying, dummying, moving under pressure from 2 players. Yeah, coming out with it. It's a shame he didn't do that against Liverpool, because Liverpool, he needed that, and we just seemed so off against Liverpool. But he really showed how classy he is, as a defender, but on the ball. And the one other one is Timber. He did a lot of running yesterday, and it was like there was one moment in like the 90th minute or something. Like he sort of sprinted from box to box, and I was like, "Oh, do you really need to do that?" I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. It's like, and this is what happens when you don't kill games. You can't take him off, and ready. If you're 4-1 up, you take him off. Go and sit down. And he can't help himself. He's just. He can. I think White is maybe a bit better at. I'm going to hold back here. I'm knackered.
Yes,
Timber just sort of like. Tim just is there a brick wall? Where is it? I'm going to run through it. And it's just like no. So I was just a bit. Again, did all right, but it's just just calm down. Just it's fine. Because then he's exposed and then goes over the top. Let someone else do the running. Pass it on, Martinelli. You go because So it's but no. Overall, I think a pretty good performance. Just not the result that we deserved, I'd suggest. Okay, so before we get on to the Forest game, some of your 3-word reviews. So thank you for sending those in onto Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok's X, and we got obviously the ones from the Grove WhatsApp group. And again, apologies if I'm so bad at mangling your name and social handles. Okay, so we go to TikTok. We have PJCB Painter, still a win. Yeah, correct. User 13681199737. I think you need to change your handle there.
That's Arsenal, most different.
Arsenal greater than Chelsea, and this is the greater than sign, so it fits in with the parameters of 3 words. Yep, we are greater than Chelsea. The boy Gianluca T14, still slightly disappointed. Yeah, I feel you, Gianluca. Okay, on Blue Sky, Krill. Domination with regrets. I think that sums it really up. So that's a really, really good one. Mr. C the Gooner, dodgy keepers night. Yeah, it felt like the goalkeepers union was in full unionization last night. Obi picks should be over. Yeah, I hear you. And Cheech, Safa Cheech, so one of our South African followers. We're getting better. Well, we are. I think we're getting better. We're warming into the season. I think we're on the march to trophies. Okay, so Deschamps Gills, get in Victor. Yep, indeed. Nicky Guna 06, London is red and always will be. Leg Puppy, class is permanent. That's for sure one thing that Chelsea do not have. Groovy Cathers 2, Chelsea home loss, it was. Arse Cannon picks of this parish. Chav's very lucky. Thank you, Ian. Mimi Kalina Lala, good over evil. I like that one. That's another one that sums it up. And Sensi, who decided to put it on Threads rather than the WhatsApp chat, Chelsea remain clowns. They do indeed. And no matter what result it would have been, they will always be clowns. Okay, and on to the Grove. Henry, feed the Gyok. Yes, listen to that, Saka. Alistair, away leg win. Yep. Matt Stacey, London remains red. Alex Monroe, big away win. And Kuziva, Bridge stays red. As you said, it's our second home behind Shite Lane or whatever it's called these days. What's the third one?
It's our fourth, so it's our home. Then it's West Ham. Actually, no, probably Shot Lane.
Yeah,
and West Ham, and then Chelsea.
Stamford Bridge. Yeah. Stamford Bridge. Okay. Look, thank you for sending those in. Appreciate it. Good to engage and so on. And we'll obviously do a shout out after the next game. So keep them coming. Okay. So Saturday, Premier League round 22. We play 5:30 at the City Ground. Our favourite referee, Michael Oliver, is is on refereeing duties. Big weekend of football. It's nice to get back to the Premiership after the sort of cup hiatus. And look, Man United play Man City in the game earlier on, so we could be looking, we could be looking to extend our lead or having to sort of regain our 6-point lead. Who else is playing big games? Villa play on the Sunday against Everton at home, and that's about it. Everyone else, Liverpool played Burnley, Tottenham play West Ham, Chelsea play Brentford. So I think everyone, all eyes on Manchester Derby at 12:30. So what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to as far as the Nottingham Forest game is concerned?
I'm looking forward to Premier League being back and also just winning. All I care about is winning. I don't care if it's on goal or set piece FC. I just want a goal. So yeah, it's very basic cop out, but easy. And then not looking forward to Sean Dyche. Last time we played these guys, they had Big Ange. And obviously Dyche is just, their team is shit, right? They're struggling. But he is harder to break down. So I'm not looking forward to a proper grind out when we win.
It's nice to be back to Premiership. Consolidate. We want to consolidate our position at the top. I said even extending it if Man United can do us a favour, for a change. Oh, actually no, they've done us a couple of favours over the years. Last year against Man City and Liverpool. So let's see if they can do that. They'll have some players back from AFCON, I think. So Embremo should be back. Maybe Ahmad also.
And also Gavido was also injured, and Diaz. So they could do us a favor. They could do us a really good favor.
Yeah, we'll see. Just not looking forward to, again, something silly happening, hangover from Chelsea game, just us not doing our job. And we get in there, be professional. Look, City struggled to get a late 2-1 win recently there. They do have some dangerous players, but we just got to go in and look, stamp our authority. We are the better team by far. Don't take it lightly, and go on. So in terms of how we approach the game and our lineup, we obviously had the Chelsea semi-final last night. We've got Inter Milan next Tuesday in the Champions League, which is sort of a bit of a free hit because even if we lose that and beat Kairat, we still, I think, win the group phase or be in the top 2, which is the primary thing. But what do you see in terms of the lineup being for?
So I don't think there'll be too many surprises, but what I hope for is possibly resting Timber, given how much he was breaking his back in the last game. Odegaard was subbed quite early, so I don't know if Arteta was thinking about this game on the weekend. He was thinking about Inter Milan. As much as it's a free hit, inverted commas, I think he wants to win. I think all of these guys
Yeah.
will win everything. So curious to see how the midfield will be set up. We'll definitely see Rice and Zubi, but I wonder if Eze will start or maybe come earlier. And then up front, I definitely want to beat our friends Inter Milan. So I'll probably start Madueke and maybe bring Saka in later. Gyokeres maybe starts again, and then Trossard or Martinelli on the left, depending on if Trossard is ready to start again. But I think the only surprises we'll probably see, if I'm right and my hope is right, is maybe MLS starting and then Eze or Madueke. How about you?
Yeah. I wouldn't be adverse to Timber not starting.
Yeah.
White. Hopefully, he's at a fitness level that he can play 2 games back to back. That's the one question with him. MLS and Timber. Now, the thing is on the left hand side. Their Forest threat will be on the counter and the counter down the flanks. Morgan Gibbs White, Hudson Odoi, and the like, and they'll be pretty fast with the counter, and that's where MLS is being a bit exposed recently with the space behind him, with players running at him. So it's a tough one to call, and actually in a way MLS will be better suited in Inter Milan game possibly, because it'll obviously win a lot more fouls because it's just softer in the Champions League and in Europe. I don't think Inter will offer as much of a threat in behind. The game isn't as a faster pace. So in a way, I would play Timber for this one and rest Timber for the Milan game, and because also MLS has been playing a lot more of the Champions League games, and that's where I'd be. The only thing is the threat of can White then play 3 games back to back. So Timber's not getting a rest. Get used to that.
Yeah, especially with sorry to interrupt you. Especially with Hincapié, Mosquera, and Calafiori out. Yeah, we need to manage those guys at the back.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Look, they'll know. My heart and head says it's White, Saliba, Big G, Timber. We've got to win the league.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Champions League. I would sacrifice 3 points for Forest. 3 points. I'd sacrifice Inter Milan and I'm going to the game. I don't care if I don't see us win. I'd sacrifice 3 points against Forest if we lose to Inter. That's it. So we'll see. It'll be. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but it's that White 3 games in a row. Can he do it? And the last time he did that, then he got injured. So MLS will feature at some point. Depends on game state. I think he would have featured yesterday had we been 4-1 up, but that didn't happen. The middle owed Zubi Rice, and I'm with you. Maybe Madueke, Gyokeres, and maybe this is where we bring Eze back in, play him on the left as an option. Don't know. We'll see. It's the thing is, if you play him in midfield, then that changes our whole style of play because he's not a Odegaard replacement. He's more of a false 9, a number 10 in behind the striker. So then we change everything we do. Now that's not to say we can't do that, and I guess Arteta will look at the threat that Forest will provide and what we're looking for. So yeah, it's one. I think players who play this game won't play or start against Inter, and vice versa. So I wouldn't be opposed to Madueke starting, but it depends how much yesterday took out of Saka. We can't get fearful of our best players playing all the games because that's what the best players do.
Yeah,
you look at Saka, you look at Ronaldo, you look at Messi, you look at Salah. The best players play all the games. Yeah, that's just the way it works. Now we need to be careful of him, and maybe we need him for later. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see that. And Leo as Martinelli, I guess maybe in pairs. If it's Jesus up front, then you play Martinelli. If it's Gyokeres, you play Leo or Eze. So it depends. It depends which two you have out there. So, but whoever we put out there should be good enough to beat Forest.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's the primary thing. Look, in terms of the league table, we're top, 49 points, 6 points above City, who are, equal on goal difference, and 6 points above Villa, who are 17 behind on goal difference. So played. So there we go. And then you look at the bottom of the table. You got Wolves on 7 points. And do you think Wolves will do the Great Escape? Do you see any life in
No,
them? Do you think? No, they're
no.
done.
Yeah, they're done. The supercomputer said, "Cheers, start thinking about the new season next year." Yeah, they're done.
Yeah. And then, okay, fair enough. Very simple. And then we have Burnley on 13 points, on minus 19. Sorry, Wolves are on minus 26. West Ham on 14 points on minus 21. And then Forest on 21 points in 17th on 21 with minus 13 goal difference. So they've played 21, won 6, drawn 3, lost 12, scored 21, let in 34. And so look, they have a bit of a buffer over West Ham, so 7 points. And West Ham, I think, did I say they're playing Tottenham this weekend? I think at the Tottenham Stadium. So I think let me just quickly double check that. Oh, I've gone too far. Where is it? Right, West Ham. Oh my god! Yes, they are. Yeah. So I was correct. Yeah, but who knows what happens at Tottenham? They might be in with a shout
Who knows?
of winning that. Who knows with those other bunch of clowns up in Middlesex? So they've got a bit of a buffer, and they've got Leeds above them on 22 points. So yeah, of course they want to do as well as possible, but like their run of form is lost, win, and that win was against West Ham. They only score on average, I think, one goal a game, and they concede 1.62. Their home form, played 10, won 3. They've only won 3 at home, drawn 1, lost 6, and they've let in 17 goals, scoring 10. So, and they were knocked out by Wrexham. Was that on penalties? Wasn't it in the end?
Yeah, it
Knocked out by
was.
Wrexham in the FA Cup, 3-3 all. As you said earlier, we beat them 3-0 at the Emirates, pretty easy, but Ange was in charge. They got the third manager of the season, Deitch, who joined around October after Espirito Santo fell out with Marianakis and Edu, and then disaster spelled Big Ange. So he took over in October. I think they had a little bit of a... No, they didn't have a bit of a bounce, because I'm looking at their October results and they lost. They lost them all. They lost them all. But November was a bit better. They drew 2-2 with Man United. They beat Leeds 3-1, and they actually did go away to Liverpool and win 3-0. But I think that
I
says
don't
more
know.
about Liverpool,
Yeah.
and then they go and lose at home to Brighton. So look, Dyche, as you said, is less open. There'll be more counter-attacking. They will sit deeper. Remember Dyche last year with Everton coming to the Emirates, getting a 0-0. Again, that says more about us than them. We just couldn't break them open. I don't think Forest are as resolute as Everton. They've got some decent players. Elliot Anderson in midfield is really good. Morgan Gibbs-White, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Amari Hutchinson, ex-Arsenal. Sangare. Again, the threat is there. There is some dangerous players, but yeah, how do you see this one going?
I mean, you alluded to it earlier. It's pretty cut and dry. They're going to absorb pressure and then hit us in the counter. I don't see anything different to that. It'll be very frustrating, but if we are frustrated, and I think what will help us is a set piece of sorts. But yeah, simple, absorb pressure, counter attack, and hope that the forwards are good enough. But I don't think they're good enough. Yeah. And I think what helps is that they do have a buffer above West Ham, which means that they're not trying to play for their lives. They know that if they lose this, they have other chances.
Yeah, their battle is not with us,
Yeah, it's not with us.
as they say.
So they might just
Yeah.
give it to us.
Yeah. Just give it the points. You don't need them you'll be fine.
You'll be
Don't worry about
fine.
it. You'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, look who they've got coming up. They got Brentford the following week, Palace at home. They got a big game on February the 6th, Leeds United away, and then they play Wolves on the 11th. So a chance to pick up some points, maybe against Palace, maybe against Leeds, maybe against Wolves. So yeah, the battle is not ours. They are also in Europe. They play Braga, I think on Thursday. So I don't know how much that's going to be a consideration. Yeah, in terms of injuries, suspensions. Yeah, there isn't anyone of note. Well, Chris Wood is out till early February, and Ryan Yates is also out. Your friend of mine, Zinchenko, he's suspended, but also he couldn't play because he's he's loaning there. However, there was reports in that Forest want to break the loan. they suddenly realised, this Edu guy pulled the wool over our eyes. He's been injured half the time. Has not done great domestically. Apparently in Europe he's done all right, but that's to be expected. So look, but apparently that loan can only be broken by us. And if we were going to break that loan, he'd have to be going to someone else in Europe. We would not take him, bring him back into the fold. So if Zinchenko can find himself another club, then maybe we'll facilitate it because we're nice that way. But otherwise, that you can keep him. Sorry, it's your fault for being such a crap run club. So yeah, and you mentioned again, get a set piece, break open the play, and that seems to be. That seems to be the way at the moment. The first goal for us is so important. We very, very rarely lose. If I can't remember the last time we lost, when we score the own goal, and very often it's a set piece that breaks the goal open. Because especially when you're defending against low blocks, having that set piece is really helpful. And we still get the narrative about set piece FC, but do you care?
Yeah, I don't care. The season that not last season, but the season that Liverpool won, was it like 98 points or whatever? Yeah. They had the most set pieces. City, we took Jova from City. The top teams will find any way to get a marginal advantage, regardless of the situation. So I don't care. Even if own goal puts on a I don't care. I just want us to win. That's all that matters.
No, exactly. And look, Arteta says he wants to be the best at everything, and so be the best at set pieces because that's a bit more controlled, it's a bit more structured. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, and so I think we should just embrace it and take it all on. I don't really care. A goal's a goal. A win's a win, and no one looks at it at the end of the season apart from rival fans just using it for banter. But who cares? So yeah, I'm all in on set piece FC. It's actually really funny now. It's just like the anti, and now before a corner we're going, ooh, it's building up the tension and all the rest of it. And if you're a defender, if you're a defending team, you've seen us guys. And then people forget, how do we get corners? By attacking. Fine, don't give away a corner, just let us run into the box then, well, your choice, your choice. We're more likely to miss. It's a bit like the penalty last week. Can we have a corner instead, please? But there we go. No, I'm here for it all day and all night. So what's your prediction? We haven't lost to Forest in the league for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So since not that we lost before them, but in the league, we've won the last, I think, 7, only conceding 2, and we scored 3, 6, 10, 16. So with that in mind, what's your prediction for Saturday 5:30?
I'm going for a very, very ambitious 2-0. And I say ambitious because we need to stop conceding goals.
Okay, the goal scoring ambition. Yeah, okay.
We need to stop conceding goals.
4-3. No. 4-3. No, basically take our score. There's an equation for Arsenal predictions now. Take our score and -1. There you go. Arsenal. I'm going to go for... it's just stupid. 3-1. I'm going to stick a 3-1. I think we'll do what we should have done against Bournemouth. Yeah, so there we go. But a win. We've got to be winning that. And so on. So there you go. Okay, there we go. That's 68 minutes in. That's pretty good. So thank you, Kuziva, for joining me this evening.
Thank you. It was good chatting.
It was indeed always good to laugh and have a joke at the expense of those clowns from Stamford Bridge. And look, thank you for listening. You can follow us on Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, X, Instagram at The Grove AFC. Come give us a shout, leave some comments. The next show will be post-Forest. Hopefully it'll be another hot off the pitch instant reaction pod. We'll see. And that will be also pre-Inter Milan. And as I said at the beginning, really appreciate it if you like what you hear. Give us a subscribe, give us a rating on the podcast apps, on the YouTube channels. Really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. And until the next time, come on you Gunners.